So let's talk about a reverse seared tomahawk ribeye steak. First of all, what is reverse searing? Reverse searing is a method of cooking larger cuts of steak where we bake it in the oven first or a smoker, cooking at a low temperature. That way we get even cooking all the way through, and then we're gonna finish it on the grill. So we're gonna get that really nice Maillard reaction, that crispy crust that we all love, but you're gonna have nice, medium rare, whatever temp you're going for, but all the way through across the steak. If we just throw the steak right on a hot fire grill, you're gonna get really intense heat on the top, and the outside is just gonna be super overcooked and dried out by the time that middle gets cooked where you want it. And then you're gonna have this like harsh gradient instead of like a really nice medium rare with the crispy crust. So let's dig into this one. So this is a tomahawk ribeye. Your tomahawk steak is a classic thick cut ribeye, one bone length. You have that rib eye and then you have the ribeye cap. My opinion, this is the most delicious part on the entire cow right here. The bone here, this is where the short rib lies. So they strip this off, then you can braise those short ribs, and now you have this beautiful French bone that looks really cool and it looks like a samurai sword. So with steaks of this size, you'll often hear season them or let them come up to room temperature for about an hour before cooking. That's not necessarily the case when you're doing reverse searing like this, since you're gonna go into the oven and go this kind of low heating method anyways. If you were going straight on the grill, I definitely advise you to let this steak kind of warm up, and that way you're getting a more even cook instead of those harsh gradients. I like to go really simple with my seasonings, just kosher salt and black pepper. And you really want to cover this steak. I mean, really season pretty generously. Season from high up so you don't have like patches of thick saltiness, and it's evenly coated all the way around. So the beauty of cooking large steaks like this at home versus in a restaurant is you have time. Salt is one of the most important ingredients in cooking a great steak. If you're cooking a steak this size, I would encourage you to season a minimum of 1 hour. If you can season 24 hours in advance for a thick steak like this, it really helps a lot of that flavor kind of penetrate, and it gives you a really nice sear on the outside. Obviously in a restaurant, when you come in and you order a tomahawk steak, we don't have time to let it sit out for 30 minutes, season it, let it sit for another hour, and then we go to cook it for another 20-30 minutes on the grill and like letting it rest and slice it. You just don't have that kind of time. So in a restaurant, you just season it, you go, maybe you're pulling one out if you're a busy steakhouse and you know you're gonna sell a couple of them to bring it up. But for the most part, you're going straight on that grill. So you have the advantage when you're in these home kitchens or in your backyard. Now we'll take the steak, you wanna put it on a rack. That way you get even airflow all the way around. The tray will catch the juices, but cooking slow like this, you're not really gonna have a lot of that loss like you do on a high temperature grill. And just to give it a little more flavor as it's slow cooking, we're gonna add some rosemary and olive oil over the top. Now let's throw this in the oven. So we're gonna set our oven temperature to 225 degrees to an internal temperature of 115. While the steak's cooking, let's make these mini chimichurri Hasselback potatoes. These are a great side that you can add to anything, and I think they're perfect for like a backyard barbecue or serving a giant steak like this. Now what you want to do here is get some skewers, chopsticks, and you're going to use these as a guide. So make these cuts through the potato, and you'll see the skewer stops it so you can't cut all the way through. You don't want to cut too thin. You want it to be thin enough that it kind of fans apart when it cooks. Now to season these potatoes, we're gonna melt down some butter with some garlic and chopped rosemary. Then we're gonna fold that over, toss them with the potatoes before baking in the oven. Gently toss the potatoes in this rosemary garlic butter. Add a good pinch of salt. Give them a toss. Now take your potatoes and arrange them with the cut side up. Now let's get this steak out of the oven, and then we'll roast these potatoes at 375 for about 20 minutes. Steak's out of the oven, potatoes are roasting. Now we're gonna make our chimichurri sauce to toss those potatoes in. Start by adding in your garlic, parsley, cilantro, and we'll pulse that up to get a good chop. Add your olive oil, splash of red wine vinegar, red pepper flakes, salt, and black pepper. And look at the beautiful color of that chimichurri sauce. This sauce adds so much flavor, it has an amazing color. It's gonna go great with these potatoes and steak. Now we're gonna sear the steak in a cast iron pan. You can definitely do this over a wood fire. I love doing it that way. These are two just different styles to finish it. In a pan, we're gonna baste it with some garlic, shallots, thyme, and butter, or over an open fire, those wood burning, you get that nice smoky elements. All depends on what you wanna do. We'll add just a touch of oil. Beef fat works really great. We'll add that big steak to the pan. So we cooked the steak to an internal temperature of 115 and let it kind of carry up in that resting. Now that we've seared it, we gave it a little bit of crust. It's not really gonna cook that much, so we don't need to rest it for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes like you normally would if you just did this right on the grill. So we're gonna give this about a 5-minute rest, pop our potatoes back in the oven, and plate this up. It was amazing. So that's how to do a reverse seared tomahawk steak with an awesome little side of these mini chimichurri Hasselback potatoes. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next ones that we do. Hope to see you make some of these and let me know what you think. Stay tasty.